us to where we end up. And then you come in, and obviously one of the first major waves of recovery is to see your role in things. Yeah.
Yes.
Because for years we didn't want to see our role in things because we thought our role in things was vast. Yeah. And it isn't really. But now, because of relief people get from the program, they're afraid to look at something that in their head makes them irresponsible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they have a fear that if they don't stay in the condition of being responsible for what happened, it's going to happen again. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
But it's coming from relief. People have gotten relief, and then they get very uh, protective. And of course, the mental system is usually only looking out one window. It doesn't see through many windows. Yeah. And so then anything that smacks of not being responsible is seen in a threatening way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But I humbly believe over time, it's time for like an accounting of what has defeated us. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting away scot-free, literally.
Yes.
Uh, it's
Yeah.
just
And
yeah.
we hold
I
the
mean,
bag.
I think it's been enough time, especially if you've done the program. You know, you saw your role in things, you made amends. Well, here's some people now. Yeah. So I understand the whole thing, yet I don't condone it in a way. I feel like uh recovery is progressing, and I think we should progress out of extreme responsibility to a relief of accountability by
Yes.
recognizing what's not us.
Nearly as old as you.
Yeah, what's not us is that which has defeated us. Yeah, it's just that simple. So that's why this isn't a draft. It's just an invitation. Yeah, we're not trying to draft anyone into this idea. We just entertain it, see if it works, see if it explains stuff that was uh, confusing. Yeah. Like, why would you be the last one to know if you had such a deadly disease as alcoholism? Yeah. I mean, why? You would think you would be one of the first ones to know if you were somewhat conscious. Yes. Why are we the last one to know? Well, I humbly believe there's something that doesn't want you to see that. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I also believe if you look at our ability to take an inventory on people like that, and then to have so much difficulty to do an inventory on ourselves seems a pretty weird reaction. Yeah. That you'll go for months putting it off. Yeah, the next person you see, you've done a spot inventory on them pretty quickly. Yeah. And so how is that going to be? They don't explain that. Well, I would say it's because the parasite doesn't want you to see your role in things because you will see its role in things. Yeah. Yeah. These things come up with a better answer. I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone else. I've had unasked for debates with people coming over. Uh, that
I would
yeah,
probably think that.
they're trying to tell me self is when self is what has defeated us. Collectively, it would be called us. I don't see that. I don't see self as us. And in one sentence, they have a very, very clear uh, separation between self and us. Yeah. So I just end up, let's just, pass the salt and shit. I'm just going to eat. I don't care. Yeah, whatever you believe, if it's working, great. But a lot of times what you believe in ain't working. Yeah, so yeah. And then this funnels right into non-duality, which is so beautiful because on one level, let's say there's two records playing at the same time. Yeah, they're on the same machines, seemingly. One's 33 and a third, the other's 45. Yeah. Uh, they're playing at the same time, but they're very different. Yeah. So on one level of, let's say, the 33 and a third, there's needs for many solutions. Yeah. Because the problems are like grooved out and they keep repeating, seemingly. Yeah. If you want to call it a problem or a condition. At the same time, on another record, the chant or the chorus of that is there is no problem. Yes. Yeah. Now, uh, if you respond to the one that there is no problem from the other condition, it's going to sound tinny when you pronounce that there is no you who did all this stuff. Yeah. It's just mental. It's like a mental froth. It doesn't have any weight to it. Yeah. And then in the other, it's what you are speaks louder than what you say. Yes. Yeah. So it's already has a built-in advantage because there's a knowing of it already. So when you're trying to know it, there's already a knowing of it. Yeah. It's a different beast altogether. Now, when you're in one record format, it has meaning. And so you can't just sort of poo-poo it, or you'll be a drunk non-dualist. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to render unto Caesars in a certain sense. Yeah. 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 So, but the solution of the message of non-duality is before, but most people hear it after certain things happen. Yes. Yeah. Like after seeking for many, many years and having a lot of experiences that something's not working and have gone through self-flagellation and I was listening to the wrong person, or I have to do it in another continent. It can't happen here. I got to go to India or whatever. And maybe you've gone through all of these reactions to the failing of it. And then when you hear the message of non-duality, it's like you finally, all the while you've been looking for water, you were standing in an oasis already. Yeah. Now, and that contrast has some impact. Yeah. It has some impact. So the idea, we have many ideas of success, but in a real, if you could combine, because you probably have a lot more failure than success. And if you could just gather that failure up and then not, especially in the spiritual seeking, and then have non-duality comb through it, you would come up with an incredible, huge amount of value in what you thought had no value. All the failures of arriving at your spiritual goal, or the wet dream of spiritual seekers is to stabilize an experience. Yeah. How can I make how I'm feeling right now feel like that all the time? And so, uh, in that case, the only way to succeed is failure. Yeah. Because the failure, finally, if you hear the message, it gives you a response to the failure that you could substitute the mental reaction to the failure. Yes. So maybe before you see the mental reaction to the failure, like it's my fault and this and that, the non-duality will get there first, and you'll see, wow, every time I failed to arrive was because I had never left. Yeah. That's an incredible message to finally have land. Yeah. Because it's not even slowing down the engine. It just shuts it off. Yeah. The reason why this is humbly what I believe the answer of non-duality would be to all your spiritual failures is that you are attempting to arrive to a point where you have never left. Yeah. Wow. When I heard this, it was the final bell, so to speak. There hasn't been another answer since that. Yeah. And in this world where answers don't seem to be that long lasting, they usually need a lot of support, reinforcement, and synthesizing other answers or hybriding it or whatever. To have an answer that takes away the need for any other answer concerning this topic, I had never met anything like that before. And non-duality really can produce an abrupt stop that never gets momentum to start moving again. Wow, it's incredible. So, the whole idea of, the drive to be liberated. And then I found really what the liberation is. It's being liberated from the need to be liberated. Yeah. The head has a need to be liberated, just like the drug addict has a need to get that Coke or that heroin. Yeah. There's a need. It's almost like an addiction. It is an addiction movement. And so that need becomes the paramount need. And then you'll put aside or ignore so much other stuff that are beautiful invitations to try to get this already pre-manufactured mental invitation at the expense of the living of the day. Yeah. So if you are what you're looking for, the looking for it is going to take a huge hit. Yeah. If all right, let's say we're spinning that wheel and the guy who's spinning the wheel, at those roulette places, there's usually a guy standing there talking about the wheel. And so the guy's talking about what's looking is what you're looking for, and ding, what's looking is what you're looking for, ding, and then you're like, keep betting so you missed it, right? And then one time you have the money and you're really interested in that thing, and it goes 0-0. What's looking is what you're looking for. Bing. Yeah, it hits. It triggers. And then you walk away from the table. Or if you don't walk away from the table, you see it more as a game than you used to see it as. Yeah. And not that it's a game, but you and the rolling of it and the everything else is part of a game. So like Ramana said, one of the first mistakes when awakening is introduced to the head is that the head will be like it's sitting in a movie theater, and it will recognize that the movie is fake, yes, but it's giving itself a sudden reality as being the real person sitting in the theater, where Ramana says, no, the movie is fake, but the observer of the movie is also fake. Yeah. So wherever you seem to appear, you appear inside the circle. So if you're appearing as this, you're not out. The sound goes up. So, and it's a common thing. I remember early on when a lady shared with me about she had finally lost her ego, but it was everyone else's ego was bothering her. I said, well, let me tell you this theater story. Maybe you're in the theater still. Yes. Yeah. And how do you know you're in the theater? If it's appearing to be a theater, it's probably, yeah. Yeah. So this goes to another point that you're never going to get it. Now, that would suck. If it was something to arrive at or acquire or to achieve, the futility and the finality of you're never going to get it would be a super bummer. But in this case, the reason why you're never going to get it is because you are it. Isn't that beautiful? Literally. It's just a beautiful, beautiful answer. If you had two people and they were saying the same thing, but what was being expressed was completely different. So a spiritual seeker he never reaches its end. He just keeps trying to change, like from Kabbalah to something fundamental Hinduism or something. It just never gives up. And he's just super frustrated that he's never going to get it. And then the other person's saying the same thing. I'm never going to get it, but it's like a hallelujah, because there's been a recognition that you are that which you're looking for. So obviously, as long as the emphasis is on a you looking for it, you're never going to get it, because you are that which you're looking for. So you're using that which you're looking for to look for it. Yeah, it's the typical, in like a burlesque skit, this would be when you get tripped. And non-duality always talks about this tripping. Yeah, that you're using the Buddha to seek the Buddha, basically. That's what I believe Huang Po meant when he says, you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. He's not saying that to Paul-san or whatever. He was saying it to the Buddha. Yeah. So the Buddha, when it hears you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha, it's super clear about that. When Paul hears it can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha, then it switches to Catholicism and St. Francis of Assisi. So, okay, I'm going to use St. Francis of Assisi. And they go, you can't use, I'm going to use, yes. So the head is just going to keep tripping on this idea. That's why they talk about, if you see the Buddha, shoot him, because obviously you're objectifying the Buddha into and giving it as a gift of someone else. So that recognition, you might as well shoot it, because that's the best way it's going to serve you. If you shoot it, if you adopt it and follow it, it's not going to serve you, because it's going to be used as a denial of your own Buddhahood. Yes, this isn't a new idea. They saw the trappings of it a long time ago. If you ever read some of the old stuff that has to do with non-duality, they're describing a lot of the same thing. They're describing because the tripping and the pattern mistake is from a mental logic. Yeah, a mental logic that is rooted in the idea that things are first. Yeah. So a thing can entertain being a no thing. Yeah. Yeah. But there'll never be a no thing to be entertained, but if there's not a thing. So the thing becomes the supreme idea, and it throws the whole mathematics out. Yeah. Because you have a primary number of 1, and it throws all the equations off, because it's the real primary number is 0. So the maths just doesn't add up. Yeah. And you kind of figure it out. So you keep changing all the numbers, but not the one, the primary number, which would be to have the biggest influence of all the equations, would be the primary number in them. Yes. Yeah. We try to change 6 to 9, as the old Hendrix song was, when a 6 turns into be a 9, we're doing a lot of that, but it's always based on the primary number one is us. We're it. And then we're going to try to make a mathematics that gives us an advantage, but we're the disadvantage. So, I mean, this is how the slaps of non-duality hit me. They would hit me with these statements. The cannot use the Buddha to seek the Buddha blew me away completely. Yeah. And then he expected the head would take a breath and then regroup. So it hit him with the second shot. You can't use light to seek light. And then he said, okay, it gets up. And then he said, you can't use the big M mind to seek mind. Yeah. So he knocks you out with a 3-punch, pum, pum, pum. He expected everyone just to lay down and give up. But when the head wakes up, it's but. It hears the finality of you can't use the Buddha, you can't use light, you can't use big M mind, but it reacts to it with a but. But if I mix it together, I bet you I can pull it off. No, you're never going to get it. Break the news to me. Why? Is it about me? No. Did I do something wrong, terribly wrong? No. Have I been with the wrong teacher? No. Please let me know what it is. You're already here. But, yeah, you're missing the whole point. How am I missing the whole point? Exactly. That which triggers this is what's missing the whole point. Yeah. That which starts, as soon as it hears that it's missing the whole point, it starts looking for the point or something. Instead of getting disarmed and having that failure hit and then just being still. Yeah. That's when the knowing downloads up, so to speak, because there's a knowing already. And then there's an upload, not a download. There's an upload of that knowing. And it even makes an impression on this activity. Yeah. You may realize that I'm probably never going to ask another spiritual question. Yeah. It'll bring you to some points of conclusion. And you're not concluded, you're continually living, but a lot of stuff that was having influence, either knowing or unknowing, gets stopped. Yeah. And that would be difficult. The idea of getting into the moment that would prove so difficult is now incredibly easy because you can't be out of the moment. So all the work to get into the moment, you're dismissed from because you can't be out of the moment. So if you can't be out, you hear the message. You can't be out of a moment. You get it. And then the stubbornness of the head that keeps trying to get into the moment, you see is not you. That which you used to see as the obstacle, you'll see as not you. So that which was an obstacle will now be actually shedding more light on everything, because it will keep on keeping on. And yet, let's say something in you has changed so dramatically and the program hasn't. And so the program does the same thing. And suddenly now you're not aligned with it. There's no allegiance to it. And you're just incredibly amazed. Yeah. To the point when after a little while, the syrupiness of the personalness gets drained off of it, you'll just see the mechanicalness of the program. The action figure is a program. Yeah. It's not an organic thing that's growing. If you give it more light, it will grow higher. It can only grow to a certain point. It has already things that the program is convinced as being true that it can't break through. Yes. So even when you're hoping to experience your own absence, you want yourself to be there. You want to be the observer of the absence of the observer. And it's just a strong habitual like hiccup. And the head covers it all up. when you see you're not the head, you really hear the hiccup. Yeah. And there's a pause. There's a lot of pauses where you're in the be still, and you're past the point of being convinced in some level, some unsuspected level. That knowing is knowing. Yeah. It's not getting overridden by that which doesn't want to know that it's knowing. Yeah. In other words, whatever meaning we gave to the cloud to block off the sun, it doesn't do it anymore. And the sun shines right through the cloud. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel it's just a shift in interest and attention. Yeah. And so not knowing it, we are a reflection or a projection of interest and attention. And when that moves, the opaqueness of the projection gets to be transparent. You start seeing through the emperor, and you're seeing it with no clothes. Yeah. Yeah. And then after a while, it gets established because it's going to go back to the wardrobe and put on clothes again. But now you're convinced it has no clothes. No matter how many it's wearing, it has no clothes. Yeah. Never to be moved again. It's all over. There's no need for reconvincing. It's a final like that. Yeah. I've had it in an experience in this world, being struck sober, at least for 37 years now. I had no interest in anything other than staying unconscious as possible. And something intervened and struck me sober. Yeah. And then the radioactive isotope of urge that would move me. And basically, I had no defense against any urge. I just followed it sooner or later, mostly sooner. Yeah. That radioactive isotope was removed. Never had a strong feeling or thought about alcohol or drugs. It's incredible to me because all the thoughts and feelings I were having about alcohol and drugs were very strong. And what happened? I don't have no fucking idea. Do I know it happened? Yes. I don't know what happened, but I know what happened. I know it happened because for the last 37 years, it has never been a battle or a fight to stay sober. It's been like one of the easiest cakewalks of all ever. The dilemma was how to live life sober. That was difficult. Yeah. 24 hours a day. All that. And I needed a way of life and a community to help me with that. And I was freely given it, which is awesome because all the miracles that have happened on this relative stage would have died on the vine if I didn't have a way of life to extend the miracle. Yeah. Yeah. The baby would have been drowned in the tub. Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny that the last answer is before any answers, but in time, it was probably much better to be received after getting struck sober. Yeah. I can imagine my addictive head how it would have tried to use non-duality as another way to give itself permission. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. Is there anyone there? Have I been muted the whole time?
No, man.
Oh, that's good.
There's no hands right now, Paul, that I see.
That's great, eh? I feel like you can describe what you're not, and you can hear descriptions of what you're not and get it. Yeah. You can understand non-duality because its premise is sound. And what was vague as an experience can be highlighted through an understanding. So non-duality, you have already been defeated in a certain way. It's not going to defeat you again. It's just going to change how you see defeat. Yeah. And it's going to tell you all these things that you called were your greatest defeats were your greatest successes, because if you could have arrived somewhere, it wouldn't have been you. Yes. So you can never get to what you already are. So it's been beautiful. And there's and non-duality never shape shifts to fit you. It just stays exactly what it is, which is nothing. And you just keep getting nothing. Yeah. And then it has the way to induce a whole lot of somethings. Yeah. 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 So if anyone here is new, and you want to, if you'd like to hear the basic understanding of why the futility is what it is, then we can go there too. Yeah. I feel time and space. Obviously, if you've heard anything about dreaming, usually they call time and space the two basic foundations of dreaming. You'd have to have a space to dream things in, and you'd have to have time to see what's been dreaming. Yeah. So the things would have to not be there and then be there for you to notice that they were there. Yeah. Just like we miss humbly what's always everywhere at all times. You have no sense. You're moving through it all every second of the day, and you have no sense of it. Just like gravity. People get the feeling of the effects of gravity, but always point out the wrong cause. It's the staircase or the hill, yeah, or it's the altitude, yeah. But it's they miss the whole point. It's gravity, yeah, and being infected by it at all times, you don't know it really, and you come up with weird ideas. Oh, I hate that fucking hill, or I don't want to go up those stairs again. But really, what you're feeling is gravity, and I humbly felt and feel now, instead of studying gravity, just go into an anti-gravity chamber and being relieved of the influence of gravity, you'll know it by its absence. Yeah. And this is what we're doing here. We're going to know the ever-present, all-time, everywhereness by seeing something that comes and goes and isn't of all time and is constantly changing. So by seeing the absence of the eternal presence, which is this event, will get a hit of that absolute. By telling the truth of what's appearing, we will have a sense of what's not appearing. Or you could say it's not appearing as itself, it's appearing as all of this. Yeah. Yeah. So it's through our absence, by meaning losing interest in us as being the primary thing in this world of things, by having that importance negated, then the ever-present space gets emphasized. Yeah. When you're trying to emphasize that space, but already an emphasis of you, it doesn't work. Yeah. Because now you're emphasizing space is really being used to re-emphasize you. So the way to get around that is to have the negation of the you. So the absence of you is the presence. Yeah. The absence of you, and let's say the absence of you is an inherent condition, but what's going to give it meaning is the loss of interest and attention. And when that loss of interest and attention leaves you, it goes to what we are. Yeah. And now you have a sense of presence where you used to have a sense of Paul. Yeah. Now you have a new power flow in instead of having those old ideas keep regurgitating. The old thinking, feeling, doing, everything is just a re. Yeah. Yeah. So, and once, you know the quality or the lack of quality in the water by an experience of a qualitied water. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So now you have a sense of something that's not stale and processed and regurgitized. It's anew, as our friend's name, anew. That's why I like her name, because it's constantly anewing all day. Yeah, yeah. So, and time, there is a starting point, and that starting point being emphasized may produce a lack of emphasis on the space before or the space all around. Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to get it as that mental emphasis. That's the great news. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
No hands yet, Paul. If you have a question for Paul, raise your virtual hand. We'll invite you in. Sagar has a hand up there, Paul.
Cigar.
Sagar. I'm sorry, Sagar. You can unmute now. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Paul. It's always great to hear you. And Paul, I mean, that feeling of trying to find myself has gone away fully. I never look for myself anymore.
Great.
I know that, but that regurgitation feeling, the fear sometimes, those kind of things still linger on, man. If something goes bad, or and especially that fear kind of feeling still lingers on time to time. How did you had your, you know, any suggestion?
Yeah. What that is not you. That's the suggestion.
How did you, I mean, what happened to you when you had to deal with that? Did it flush it out itself? It
How did
took
you feel?
time?
I got loaded. That's what happened to me. But yeah, it didn't
That's
work. The least reaction is the best strategy. Yes. Yeah. I don't know, bro. Uh let's say there's the action figure and then there's the being still. Yeah. So the action figure obviously is going on in time and in space. Be still is not a condition produced by time and space. Yeah. So time and space. So that's going on. And what happens is the action figure that was all enveloping is now not so enveloping. But does it still have its reactions and stuff like that? Yes, of course. Yeah. But let's say you ever hear of Miles Davis, a great trumpet player? A lot of
no.
times he used to play with a muffling device. He put a little thing in the thing,
Mhm.
muffle the sound of the trumpet. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he could produce different effects. And he played a lot with this thing. He put it in there. You would think you'd want to have everything blow out as best it could through the trumpet, but no. Yeah. And so what happens is there's a trumpet call from the be still. That's its note is silence. And then there's a muffling of the trumpet notes being played in this relative theater. Yeah. So there's a big muffle. So it can't hit those screeching notes or hold it for that long. Yeah. And so that which is presented in a repetition over and over and over again. And sometimes you think it's different because it's much higher screech of a note than other times, but it's the same note. It's just being amplified more or less. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's basically just regurgitating everything the same. Yeah. But what gives it the sound of it is the interest and attention in it. Now, the interest and attention moving from the action figure and the trumpet of the action figure produces a muffled sound to the trumpet. So it's not a clarion call. It's going to call you to arms and you'll stay disarmed. Yes. It'll be playing danger, danger, and you won't flip out and stuff like that. But it will play its own act and react. It's like call and response or call and react. but it will be, the whole sound will be muffled. Yes. So your day will go on as it always does. Like this would be the end of it, won't be the end of it. This is the worst thing that ever happened. Maybe, probably not. All these things. And they, you just keep on trucking until you stop, really. Who knows when that's going to be. But really, there's no door in the stream. Yeah, there's no front door and back door. Things are streaming. We're not a long-lasting, independent, solid thing with a few doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're as vague as a wisp of a cloud, and tons of stuff is moving through all day, feelings, thoughts, memories, repercussion on this and on that. And it only becomes a recording studio if there's made up doors closed. Yes. When the doors are open, every melody trails off. Yeah. The loudest sound it can make muffles out. Yeah. And then really the most dominating sound is the sound of silence, literally. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I wouldn't hold my breath for that thing to get really much better. Just, it's just a loss of interest in it. Yeah. See, what it used to mean in my head was if it was going bad, I was going bad. So if it wasn't at peace, I must have not practiced enough. No, it's not of peace. The head is of agitation. Why would you be surprised when it's agitated? That's what its nature is. Yeah. The point is, it's sort of after a while, there's a hearing of the day and there's an echo of the hearer of the day. You've heard the regurgitated sounds of every day from the orchestra and the choir of the head. You have. Yeah. It's just, yeah. You've been sitting in that chair as the audience long enough. You heard the possibility you can get up. There's another show going. You know what I mean? Doesn't have to be a giant fanfare. You just lose interest. Yeah. 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 I don't know how to describe it, but I can, by describing it, I hope it intimates a knowing in you. That's the point. Yes. Not a
No.
knowledge, a knowing in you. You know that there's no beginning and end. You know that. You know that there aren't 7 days in a week and then 12 months in a year. It would be much more honest just to say there's 4 seasons. Yeah, those changes. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And
Yeah.
then get a new watch with, yeah, just the season. I'm in fall heading into winter. That would be much more clearer than it's 11:15 on Saturday. Yes.
Yes, I
Period.
agree. Yeah.
Things have been partitioned and recut. It's like a mental prosciutto. They've tried to make it. To get the most slices, they try to cut. It's just way too much. You can cut this cloth as much as you want. It's never going to lose that quiltness. It's not. You can cut it. Your head can make it. This is the biggest day of my life or whatever. It just goes on. Your biggest day gets washed away into another day. Yes.
Yeah.
You think this is earth shattering. No, it isn't. This should have stopped the whole rotation of the planets. No. Yeah. Things just keep grinding away. Yeah. And then you see there's a great, beautiful refuge in your unimportance. In your unimportance, there's a great refuge in there. Yeah. The people next door are not listening into the satsang. They're fucking doing something else. And to them, this message is as important as the message they're entertaining. Yeah. Happening zillions and zillions of times. Yeah. Things going through. And for that second, we think it's me. And then it goes to another person, and then they respond as it's me, and it goes to another, and then me. Yes. We're all in the same stream, but every time there's an observing of the stream, we think we're the observer of it. Yeah, when we're not. We're just part of the whole thing that's being observed. Yes. Do you really believe there's this space, there's no thought, and then there's thought here? Yeah. Where does the thought travel? It must be coming, passing through. It's sort of like here you are in a sky, and then the plane passes through a cloud. Yes. And then when you do that, the thing gets dark and everything and passes through a cloud, but it inevitably pulls out. Yes. Here we are playing the role of the cloud. My thoughts, my this, my that. Yeah. 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 Now, when you see thoughts and they're seen as yours, the thoughts are put into an orbit, really. They start orbiting around this action figure, almost like a where you have an antenna, like a one of those Wi-Fi stations. Yeah. So, and if you see people, let's say in recovery, like extremely in a very tight orbit of self-centeredness, it's almost as if you can see it. It's like the rings of Saturn, so to speak. Yeah. Going around here. And therefore, when you hear someone speak from there and it comes through that thing, no matter what they say, you basically say service. Yeah, just do service, not do service with someone you don't know, because that I am clear that the act of service will pull the interest and attention out of the orbit. It will. Thinking about it won't. Doing something nice for yourself, probably not. Yeah. But to get out of yourself truly pulls the interest and attention, and then you get a sense of what you really are, which is present and available. You do. I mean, I've talked to thousands of people who've done service and recovery, and it's a very shared sense when you come out of the ass of self. What you feel like is you feel present and available to the situation at hand. And it tells you that you weren't seemingly present and available. Yeah. Yeah. And you get pulled out of the ass of self, and then the first thing you feel is the first thing, which is presence and availability. Yeah. Better than going home and reading a book. Just go out, fucking go to a soup kitchen. That person who you're giving the sandwich to doesn't give a shit how you're feeling. They don't care if you're doing it as a selfish act or not. They need the sandwich. Yeah, just give them the sandwich. There you go. You've been put to use. Yeah, and then you get a humility where you're right size. It's not all about us at all. Yeah. So things come, go. Things come, if they're branded with the word my, you have this momentary sense of owning it, and then it can own you. So you own a thought and you call it yours. That thought called yours can ruin your day. It can. I've seen it tons of times. Yeah. Feeling, oh, this is my feeling. And now, all right, now you're going to have feelings you don't want to be called yours. Yes? Yes. So it's best to see what's coming and to follow it as it goes. Zhit, 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 zhit. Yeah. So, in a sense, at every moment, you'll be inherently empty. Even though you've had a full day, you'll be empty. Yeah. You didn't, There wasn't like a storing of it or anything. It was yes, Saturday goes through just like a Wednesday. The distinction of the day doesn't make it easier or harder, really. Just yeah, yeah. While this is going on, what is always going on is the awareness. Yeah. So you get an intimation of what you are, which is aware, let's say. I don't know what it is, but it's aware. It seems to not have a beginning or end. And I definitely know it's not discriminating or saying, oh, I don't want to see that, or I want to really see that. It just seems to be an open space, including everything like a sky. Yeah. And whatever appears in the sky doesn't affect the sky. Look at it. Yeah. Well, this is sort of how it goes now. So the effects happen, but they have less effect and they don't leave as much of a mark. And very rarely are you compelled to act on all these insane ideas. Like that motherfucker, I should pull over right now. And no, because you're going to have a 3-year prison sentence. Yes. So, yeah. Yep. So I don't know what you were saying. Oh, yes, that was about when that stuff comes up. Of course, it's going to come up. As long as the action figure seems to be here, the action figure programming is going to be on. Yeah. Yeah. It's distinctly different than you. I mean, than what you are. It is. It's a call and reaction. So there's a seeing of something, and then you're looking at it a certain way. So you're aware of something, and then you're the one who's aware of it, and then memory and all this shit drops in. I had it when I was young, never was introduced to spirituality, grew up a Catholic, 19 years old. A friend of mine, he's passed away, came back. He had been in New York City and said, hey, I just got initiated in this spiritual group. They taught me a meditation techniques. And he said, you should do it. And I did. I went there Monday and did it. And so now I'm introduced to a spiritual way. Now, suddenly I have thousands of ideas about a spiritual way, how the way should be, how I should be, how they should be, how the teacher should be. Where did I get those thoughts? They were just waiting for me to hit the keypad in my little life. Spirituality. Ding! Incredible, massive download of old ideas and shit where I never picked it up in this life because I had no interest in that. I had thousands of ideas. And one of the biggest idea was if you were introduced to the Lord of the Universe and you didn't like the Lord of the Universe, that made you a bad, bad character. And that's what happened in my head. The guru was 11 years old when he showed up. First, we got taught the meditation, then he came. And then the whole place changed. It was now, he's the Lord of the universe, and we must serve and serve and serve. I'm going, I really like the meditation, but there's other stuff. But then I got caught in the Clash song. Should I stay or should I go? I could not get across the idea, who the hell would leave the Lord of the universe? It was amazing. Couldn't budge. The only way I got permission was to get loaded again. After 5 years, that's how I got out of it. I got loaded. Where did that come from? Not from here. Where did it come from? I don't know. Where did it move through? I do know. Yeah. And I know that somehow it wasn't allowed to move through. It got orbited. Yeah. I said, oh, I like Mars. And then Mars just orbited me for 5 years. It was just insane. That's why I'm very, very respectful of name and form and much rather stay in this world before name and form. Yeah. Because once something is named and given form or given form and named, it's a different thing altogether. Yes? Yeah. So I feel I probably have been terminally ill 50 or 70 times in this life. I just never named it, and it came and went. But I remember if I would have stopped it and said, "What?" something may have occurred. Yeah, seriously, I have that. That's been an observation I've had. There is a freedom that isn't readily available after name and form, before name and form. There is. Yeah. So I'd be careful what you say about what you are or what you have or what this or what that, because I feel it's an invitation for something to have you. Really, and we got to be a little wiser around it. And people, because I've seen people who got diagnosed with cancer, they look great. As soon as they heard they had cancer, they looked completely terrible. Yeah. Though they had cancer the day they were looking great, but they didn't know it. As soon as they heard it, they looked like fucking death warmed over. Yeah. So as soon as it was given name and form, it became a whole different situation. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Paul, we got a question from the chat from Stu. Hey, Stu, I'm going to ask you to unmute, bud.
Stu.
Hello.
Yes, we heard you.
Hi, Paul. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Wow. I'm speaking to you. That's that's amazing. Just thanks for everything that you do, first and foremost. And my question is, why? Why do we go through all this rigmarole?
Why is why not? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we're really going through anything. I have no idea. Whatever I was going through yesterday was forgotten when I was sleeping. Yeah.
Bless you, man. It's like, you know, to have some of that would be amazing. I think it's getting there slowly, and I'm just keeping on. I keep coming back, and each time it's better. So thing is, I don't want to become reliant on it.
Who doesn't want to become reliant on it?
Oh yeah, there you go.
You have legs, but you're not able to walk well. So you're going to need to rely on a crutch. Yeah.
Well, more than you realize, because yeah, I had an accident. So well done.
Oh, there you go. So then you rely on a crutch. And then there's the point. This is why it's nice to have other people when relying on the crutch becomes a disservice. It's good to have that ability to know, and maybe you have a vested interest in it, but someone else could help you. And then you go, hey, I think it's time for you to start walking again. And then, yes.
Are you guys the ones who are helping me walk again?
Not you, it's the compilation of all of us, I believe. I believe
Okay.
the satsang, the Zoom meeting, is an expression of something greater than all of us through the conscience. Yeah. So through the group conscience, something that would go unnoticed gets noticed because it's amplified all of us. So instead of reflecting self-centeredness, we're giving the lens of reflection to something else to use, and that power is using it to reflect its own nature, which is empty. Yeah. So it's using us. We're giving over our little reflective screens instead of being obsessed with you, me, and I. We're in satsang, and now that reflective ability is being used by a power to express itself through us. Yeah. So satsang is sort of like sitting around like parts of magnifying glasses, all aligned in a certain way to catch the sun in a certain degree, which produces an effect, which is satsang.
When we're out of satsang, I'm in a position, say at work, where I don't know, there just seems to be so much. I don't. you'll have to excuse my language, but the suffering just seems constant, and you feel like you want to like say something, but there's nothing comes to mind or anything, and it's like sometimes it's a struggle.
Well, I'm not in a work environment now. I can't, as an
But
experiment.
it's people, Paul, isn't it? It's just people.
Wow, yeah. Well,
What do we do?
what do I do? What do you do?
Yeah, what do we do?
I don't have any rote answer, meaning ROTE. I don't have, I feel every moment there's guidance being offered. And if I don't follow it, I learn from that. And if I follow it, I learn from it to more lean towards into it, that which I followed. Yeah. So I don't have any plan. I just deal with what I see and hear and feel when it comes up. Yeah. Right now, I don't think I have any. There's certain people I probably wouldn't give my life to manage, questions and their backgrounds. But there's no apparent threat here. And so, yeah, I'm having a lovely day in the backyard. So, but I don't know. I haven't been in a working environment, 8 hours with people who I didn't really know in a long time. Can't do it justice at the moment. Just remember, all of these sticky things are subjective experiences, yes?
I kind of like try to remind myself that, but then I think they are me as well. And it's like you just want to reach out sometimes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Bring some cookies in to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do that.
Yeah, give someone some flowers. I should do that. I'm
Bless you,
listening to
Paul.
my own message now. It's not mine. Flowers are coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bless you. Bye.
The way I deal with life is I admit I can't deal with it, really. I've admitted I'm overwhelmed and I offer myself to be guided as the action figure, seriously. And it's worked so far. Yeah. I haven't learned how to master life. I just admitted I'm outmatched. Yes? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can't understand how I feel so certain in one moment in the past, and then the next moment everything changes. So I just don't there's nothing really I can rely on except the unreliability of everything. And it was a long road to admit complete defeat. But the evidence was so convincing. As soon as I opened up to the admittance, it became galvanized quickly. So that's how I live. Yeah, every day here. Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, Darshan has been waiting patiently. Darshan, you there, bud? Unmute.
Yeah,
There he
what's
is.
up? If anyone has any questions, my share isn't that important, but I'll was Stu done?
Eh? I think Stu is done.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit based on what people were talking about today. I really like how you frame things kind of just like traveling lighter, because I feel like that kind of it lands in such a nice way because I don't know, in my life, I went through a lot of emotional heaviness, but the real heaviness was kind of all the meaning put on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And, and I guess I'm
We're losing you,
speaking from
Darshan.
all the emotional heaviness I felt. And I really like that, like, you're on a train and you can put all the Oh, am I lagging?
You're lagging, yes.
Can you guys hear me or am I lagging? Okay,
We're
wait.
hearing you and you're lagging. We're hearing spurts of you. Like
Okay,
all
wait,
the
is it better now? I changed to my
super clear, and then the other stuff, I can't hear anything.
is it better now?
Keep going, I'll let you know.
Okay. Start from the beginning.
Yes, it's working now.
Okay, I like what you said about traveling lighter because I feel like it frames things in a way where you don't really have any expectations. And I feel like that's kind of how you could say, I guess, got into spirituality. Like I expected a lot, I wanted a lot. And I don't know, the theme I've been talking about a lot of times when I show up to the calls recently is like being disarmed, because it feels like as what I'm not, it feels like I'm just more vulnerable and innocent and defenseless to just everything. Like everything just lands because you have like you cannot defend yourself. You know, it's like you're gonna learn the easy way or the hard way. And I feel like you come here to learn the easier way. I definitely tried to learn the hard way. And I figured out it didn't work. Like when I meditated a lot, I would meditate laying down because sitting straight for hours was just a pain. I could not do it. And yeah, I went through some real emotional heaviness. And I feel like the real heaviness was a subjective meaning, because now it's just like it feels like it didn't ever really happen.
Yes.
It was just a day that went by. And I really like what you say about like, so two things, the mountain analogy, and like I like the Ramana Maharshi train thing. But like the mountain analogy is like, first there's no mountain, right? So
Yeah.
when I think for that to really land, like, okay, if you're looking through life through a lens of what you want and don't want, just take a second there, because first there is no mountain. So anytime you're like, oh, this is like the frame from which I'm trying to interpret my life, you can just Zen bitch slap yourself real quick, just one real quick, and you're like, okay, wait, I think I'm starting from the basis of there is a mountain. So then, you know, it's really humbling to be like, okay, first there is no mountain. And it's kind of like what you said when you wake up. You don't even know that you exist, and then you exist. It's kind of like a lot of what you talk about is kind of like Nisargadatta. He has like these like consciousness and the absolute. It's like the absolute, right? The absolute always prevails. It's kind of like the ace in the deck. And so it's like that is just like, first there is no mountain. First you don't even know that you are, and then your head comes in and says, it's kind of that funny thing you say all the time where you're just like, oh, this day's gonna suck. It's like, wait, I just woke up. I haven't had my fucking Cheerios yet. Like, hold on a second. So I really like that, because it's just so soothing to be like, okay, any frame of reference for what existence is, I did not come up with that. And even if I say it or anything that happens, nothing that has happened, will happen, or is happening ever define your nature. And it's like, bam, another Zen bitch slap. Boom. Let that one land. And then like I think practically it's like, I really like that Ramana Maharshi train thing where he's like, you know, like this guy was walking to the train and he's trying to like find the train to go, and he has all these bags on his shoulders. And the guy tells him like, hey, you know, like you're taking the train, you can put all the bags down. And I feel like that's being surrendered, is realizing that like it was never your burden to like carry all these things in life. And it's like, that's what I really feel and what I really like about this satsang. Like you can be a bit more blunt, which is great, but it's like you're being given the strength to like go through things. You're not like satsang or, you know, spirituality or whatever isn't a get out of jail free card, but you can travel a lot lighter through whatever you have to go through. And like, I don't think like literally I have read so many books on spirituality. I've been to so many satsangs. I've seen so many things. I don't think there's an answer that is more soothing than this. For me personally, what I found. Now that being said, if you need practical means, like I don't know, like I like to hug a dog or pet a cat when I'm feeling sad, because it's soothing emotionally. You know, like sometimes we hear a message in spirituality and then we think, oh, well, that means like I'm gonna be a robot and I'm not gonna be human. But like the reality is like you can just be more human. Like you can just ask for what you want because you're here fully. You know, like Paul always says, he's in Novato. Wherever you are, you're there. Sometimes there's gonna be shitty fucking days, and sometimes life really sucks from subjective point of view or objective point of view. But it doesn't have to be taken so seriously or held as something. And I think that's why Paul is just like ruthlessly hammering us because it's like, you know, it's like stop holding on to the reality of anything, really. And then you're just falling like every single day. And then you fall asleep and wake up and then you forgot. Honestly, it just feels like I'm forgetting the plot of what the hell's going on. So that's kind of cool. So yeah,
Thank-
that's my share.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Everyone just gave you an applause here. Yes. Thank you.
Hey,
Anyone
Paul,
else?
Kathy. Yeah, Kathy from Cleveland has her hand up. Unmute, Kathy.
Yes.
Hang on a second. There she goes.
Hi, everyone. And Paul, thank you. I don't want to go on and on, but I don't. Just wanted to say, you know, I really am getting so much from what I'm learning here. And, you know, I am traveling later. It reminds me, you know, in one of our recovery reading books, it talks about wearing the world like a loose garment. That kind of makes me think of the same thing. But I also wanted to say that, like, I told my husband to listen to you on YouTube, and
How did
he,
that go?
it went great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he really liked the action figure bit. You know, I mean, that
Oh.
description. And I also wanted to let you know that I am at my aunt's house. And so I have invited, we're sitting in the same room, my 97-year-old aunt to listen in. She's got like 55 years or 60 years of Al-Anon. And
Oh.
I just thought she would enjoy what you have to say too.
Oh, great. Well, send our regards to her from all of us.
All right, she heard you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
And
Yeah.
that's all. Thanks.
Oh, that's very nice, Kathy. Very nice. Yeah. The train thing, let me go over that train story. Yeah, it's one of the Indians have a lot of parables and stuff. This one quite nice because the way I heard it, there was a man who his job was to carry a very heavy bushel to a village, not that far. It is pretty far, and very heavy bushel, and they would carry it on their heads. And when he was carrying it on his heads, obviously his relief was pushed to when he would arrive at the place to take the thing off his head. Yeah. So while he had it on, there was really no relief until he got to the destination. So a guy's realized where he was going to could be accessed through a train. The guy just didn't know that. So he told them where the station was and what rail it left on this one thing. So the guy gets the information and goes, and the guy that passed the information on feels pretty good, helped the guy, and then he sees the guy. He goes to the train station. He sees the guy in the train before it takes off, but he's still holding the thing on his head. And then the guy walked in there. He says, "You know, the train's going to take both of you." So the hearer and the hearing both are going to be taken. The bushel on your head is the hearer, the thinker, the feeler, the taster, the toucher. Yes. Put that down. The train of satsang will take both of them. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty good. So the point is, a lot of things we always talk about letting go, but the idea of who or what is holding on. Yeah. So the real letting go would be the idea that you're holding on. And that would only be needed to maybe to be seen once. Yeah. So instead of I've got to let go, I got to let go, I gotta let go. Who the hell is holding on? Because if it's an impossibility to be the who that's holding on, then it's even more impossible the who that's going to let go. Yes. So you let go of the who instead of the letting go of the thing you want to let go of. You let go of the who. Yeah. Yeah. So holding on, there's always, just like when they go into reincarnation, it's a subtle way to reinforce incarnation. And we want to say we don't reinforce incarnation. I don't believe anything has come to pass. I don't. So, yeah. So, yeah. You're on the train. Put it down. Put the head down. The train will take that also. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Or I'm going to start saying goodbye.
No other hands, Paul.
Oh, thanks, John. Did a great job, John.
My pleasure, buddy.
Happily, I've been keen on following you, John, all these years. It's very nice to see. You know, when the fish is swallowed, you can tell how it moves down the throat. I liked it when how I saw it with you. Yes, the message. So I'm happy to see you traveling lighter. Yeah, yeah, good.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Keith G. Mike Clark, our missionary in Mexico. You haven't sent me any result-oriented statistics, bro. What's going on? Gary C. from Placerville. Johannes, it's getting cold in Germany, eh? Yeah. Stephen Mack, on having never left. Richard Ascott. Nice to see you, Richard. Say hello to Etta from me and Amelia. Yeah. Angelica. Yes. Chris B. Stu. Thank you, Stu, for the share today. Meredith. Pleasure to see you. Marilyn in Tallahassee. Sean in NorCal. Annette. She's in the she's in open air now. We have Gio. Oh, our Brazilian character dropped in. Nice to see you, Gio. Heather just decided to say, what the? She's just laying down now. That's good, Heather. Don't get up. Lay down. Sean K. Nice to see you, Sean. Mary Champagne. Yes. Thank you for all the AI things. Susan Harris. Morton Hake, did I get it right? Or Hawk? Hake? Hawk? All right. Morton Hawk. All right. Vlad, nice to see you, as always. Saga. I met Saga in Toronto years ago. I left Toronto, but Saga never left my head. Yeah, so nice to see you, Saga. I'm happy. We got to see each other again. Alan Olson, my main man. Say, Chris says hello, Alan. Chris, Chris, the guy took the
Hey, Chris.
airport. Yeah, he knows. Matt Butch Action. Wow, that's cool. Brenda Jolly. Let me go to this thing. We've got Tofa, Darshan, Jesse. Nice to see you, Jess. Amelia, everyone says hello. We got Hiram and we got Mia. Greg up in Minneapolis. Eric down in Vista.
Hey,
Hey,
you.
Susan Harris. Zoe Banks in Japan. Wow. I think I did. I think I got everyone. Hey, listen, thank you. I hope you have a lovely day or a night or morning, wherever you are.
Thank you,
And,
Paul.
hmm?
I said thank you, Paul.
Oh, yeah, you're more than
For the
welcome.
message. The
Thanks,
thing
Paul.
about Nama Rupa
Thanks, Paul.
more important than
Thank you,
getting to know.
Paul. Yeah.
Oh, yes. All right, great. Thank you. Eric.
Thanks, John.
Thanks,
Paul.
See you guys.
Thank